Hey, welcome to the channel. My name's DeeSimilar. So, Tactical Mask. It has been one of those go-to perks in Call of Duty historically. You know, one of those perks like Sleight of Hand or Stalker, Ghost, Dead Silence, Flak Jacket. Those sort of perks where you can always use them and you'd always get use out of it. But in Black Ops 6, I've come to the conclusion that Tac Mask pretty much sucks, to put it bluntly. It's nowhere near as strong as it has been before, and I'm going to be walking you through how I've come to that conclusion, and I hope that this video helps save potential unlocked tokens someone may be thinking about using on Tac Mask, and I hope that it helps improve some of your gameplay. I almost want to guarantee that you will learn something new in this video. If you do, please don't forget to tap that like button and consider getting subscribed to the channel. But with that said, just so we're all on the same page here, Tac Mask is advertised to reduce the effect of concussion grenades, flash grenades, and neurogas. I'm going to focus on concussions and flashes for the most part. We're going to circle back to neurogas later on. The traditional throwable tactical grenades, which when I say this, I'm referring to concussions and flashbangs. These traditional throwables are weak in Black Ops 6, and they have new ways to counter them without Tac Mask that we've never seen before. For example, the flashbang. What the flashbang does is it flashes your screen. There's no movement penalties, it just makes you blind and kind of messes with your hearing a little bit. And this can last up to 3 seconds with a perfect flashbang throw. Now, the effectiveness of the flashbang depends on where the flashbang lands around your opponent. If the flashbang is not directly in front of them, it is going to be less effective. Realistically, I'm going to say the flashbang is effective for an average of 1 second, kind of just in general use cases. Now, the thing with the flashbangs is there's a new mechanic in Black Ops 6 that some of you may be aware of and some of you may not be aware of. And that is if the flash lands behind your enemy, there's no effect whatsoever. You can do this intentionally, but this also happens a lot accidentally, which limits the effectiveness of flashbangs. There's so many times where I'll throw a flashbang or enemy will throw a flashbang and it just rolls behind your enemy and you'll get a hit marker, but your enemy won't be flashed. Now, when you put Tac Mask on, it will completely negate a flashbang. It has no effect whatsoever, but do you really need it? The flashbangs are already way less useful compared to previous Call of Duty games. Moving on to the concussion grenades, these will do 2 different abilities. One, it will slow down your movement speed, and it will also slow down your rotational speed. It lasts for about 2 seconds, but your window of effectiveness with the concussion, where the enemy is actually stunned and immobile, is about 1 second. Now, if you're wondering how I know all of this stuff, I've actually done in-depth videos on the flashes and concussions in preparation for this video, and I'll have those linked down below in the description if you want to check them out. You'll learn much more. I go much more in-depth in them. I'm just kind of laying out the basics here. But 1 second to engage with a concussion grenade is roughly 20% the effectiveness of stun grenades in previous Call of Duty games. Also, the slowed movement you get with a concussion is nowhere near as impactful as it was before. In games before Black Ops 6, you wouldn't be able to move much. In Black Ops 6, you're still pretty mobile. This is all to say the concussion grenades in Black Ops 6 are just naturally weak. If you do so opt to use Tac Mask, what's even worse about it is it doesn't fully negate a concussion grenade in Black Ops 6. The Tac Mask perk will negate the rotational slowdown from the concussion, but your movement is still slowed the same amount with or without Tac Mask. This is a perk that cannot fully counter what it is designed to counter. So I ask again, why even use Tac Mask in Black Ops 6? The perk doesn't fully counter what it's designed to counter, and the abilities that it is designed to counter are already fairly weak in multiplayer. And I'm pretty sure a majority of the player base is realizing this. I am seeing less and less people using things like flashbangs and concussion grenades. At launch, everyone was using these things, probably because everyone had immediate access to concussions and flash grenades, as well as the wild card that gave everyone 3 tacticals. So everyone is just chucking these traditional throwables everywhere. Nowadays, I'm barely seeing these traditional tacticals in, normal multiplayer. Of course, you're going to see them in things like ranked because there's nothing else to use. And regular, unrestricted multiplayer, I think players now have better options and have realized there are better options than the flash and the concussion. And if players aren't using these, why use Tac Mask? The only reason I can think of is Neurogas, which I'll touch on Neurogas right now. The perk description says that Tac Mask will counter Neurogas, and I imagine it fully negates it, but to be honest, I don't even feel the need to test and verify that because no one uses Neurogas. I rarely run into Neurogas. For one, it is a 40+ level unlock, which means it's going to be rare. People aren't going to use it as much. I say like I've seen it once in maybe 100 games so far playing Black Ops 6. And the times I have run into Neurogas, I've been able to survive it without Tac Mask, which means there is some sort of counterplay. To me, Tac Mask is just an incredibly niche perk, the most niche it's ever been in Call of Duty history. And what is the reason to use Tac Mask, especially when it directly competes with Flak Jacket, Ghost, and Ninja all in the perk 1 spot that all provide more direct value in your gameplay? If you do have a reason, please do share below in the comments. I am very curious to hear, but I personally think this perk needs to be reworked or buffed in the near future. Hopefully it comes Season 2 when all the devs get back from their holiday break. To me though, Tac Mask feels like it's gotten the same treatment as like Sleight of Hand and Stalker have historically in Call of Duty, but they just left the perk there for some reason. Because back in the day, you know, if you wanted faster reload speed, you would use the Sleight of Hand perk. I think this changed come Black Ops 2, and Sleight of Hand was removed as a perk, but if you wanted faster reload, all that ability was transferred to weapon magazine attachments, which is what we experience today. If you want a faster reload in Black Ops 6, you gotta use one of the fast mag options, or a flip mag. Stalker, back in the day, provided faster aim down sight strafe speed. Now that ability is tied to stock attachments. And there's been a few other examples over the years of abilities getting reworked into different mechanics of the game. I mean, just last year we had the climbing boots in Modern Warfare 3, which gave you faster mantling amongst other abilities. And they just decided to straight up remove those boots and replace them with an entirely new boot perk, and all those faster mantling abilities and all that was just added to the game normally. You didn't need a perk to speed up that stuff. They just sped it up for everyone by default. And I feel like that's what's happened with Tac Mask, but it's in this weird limbo where something needs to change to make it viable. It is a weak perk and there's counters for it, so just remove the perk entirely and add some of those abilities into another perk. Maybe those make, Flak Jacket I don't think needs to be stronger, but maybe you add the Neurogas counter to Flak Jacket now, or maybe introduce some new mechanics to further counter concussions in Neurogas without Tac Mask. I mean, trophy systems exist in the game. Those are also easy to get. You get them early on. It's even less of a reason to run Tac Mask. Or, if you're not going to remove the perk, you can also show Tac Mask some more love and give it more abilities. It doesn't negate shock charges, which is weird. I think it should also negate shock charges. Maybe it can reduce fire damage. I don't know if Flak Jacket does that again, but that can be an additional perk. Or maybe you get like better vision through smoke. You're using this mask on your face theoretically to negate concussion and stuff. I don't see why that couldn't help improve smoke vision, or just a little something to make Tac Mask a bit more versatile, because as it is right now, it is a very weak perk, especially for the perk 1 slot. I don't know, that's all I have to say. Tac Mask kind of sucks. Yes, you can get some use out of it. It does do something, but it is very underwhelming as a perk. And, if you disagree, I think something we all can agree on is it is definitely not worth using an unlock token on. Gonna be better off using that unlock token on something else. So spread that word, save those unlock tokens. And again, if you think otherwise, feel free to share your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm very curious to hear what people think, or if I am just simply crazy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to tap that like button. You'll watch the video all the way through. You're actually contractually obligated to hit that like button, and also consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. My name is DeeSimilar. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.